Yeah, I remember this going the other direction. It was probably the biggest technical obstacle, I think, on this part. Weighting the rear wheel as much as I can.
This is the Baldy Mesa OHV staging area, which we're leaving right now, and we're gonna head towards Widowmaker Hill. We didn't actually go down or up it, but we got to the top of it. I do have some footage from a past attempt at going up it. Anyways, I'm gonna give a bit of an overview here of Baldy Mesa and what kind of riding you might find. That's a nice little spot, by the way, to practice if you want to do like a ledge and practice, going up it or jumping down it. This is one of the this is a nice little rocky section that you can bypass, but if you want to try going over some rocks, I'm at the point now where I'm like trying to pick the gnarly routes because I'm just trying to practice, so just not avoiding the ruts, going in the ruts and stuff like that. So I try to take those opportunities when I can. Most of this stuff going up the mountain is going to be, there's a whoopsie, there's some sandy stuff, and there's a little bit of rocky stuff, but nothing super bad. This is about as bad as you get in terms of just getting up on the mountain from the staging area. It's pretty representative, not of most of it, but reasonably rocky fire road kind of stuff. That's pretty much it. So unless you're a complete beginner, getting up to the fire road, to the sort of desert front trail, I think it's called on Onyx at least, is not too difficult. And the thing is that you have a bunch of options. This is typical fire roady stuff that you see. This is the desert front trail, and we're going to head over to the single track here. I'll talk a little bit more about the fire road and so on.
All right, 6W26.
Just give me a moment.
If I got that right.
To stop talking.
This is going to be... There's two trails that are basically kind of hooked together. These are two single tracks that are kind of in this between Baldy Mesa and the Widowmaker Hill. There's to the north of Desert something something trail. I'll put some information in the description, and maybe I'll put like a map on screen showing it. But two single tracks here in the area that kind of act as a bypass for the main fire road. You do lose the fact that the fire road has some nice, little bit more technical, sort of sandy offshoots with inclines on it. So you get to pick if you're going down that fire road. You can go down the fire road, you can take the single track here, or you can take those offshoots, which we'll probably take on the way back.
Yeah, and I'll show you some of those on the way back, and that's definitely the case. So you can bring, even if you're a group and you have some that are beginners, some are a bit more advanced, you can sort of take the main fire road, and then some people peel off to do the offshoots.
So I haven't actually taken this half. I took the other half, so to speak, whatever name it is that I don't remember, but this is the W26. I've seen it on video, so I know it's very similar. And it's going to remain flowy like this as far as I can tell. Still fun to ride it the first time. Not sure if he made a one sign or not. Let's see if there's somebody else coming. So as you can tell, it is two-way, as are most things. Yeah, even though we're here, we're gonna head to the Widowmaker, but I'm not actually gonna attempt it. My brake is a little spongy, so my front brake, so I'd realized that as I was loading it outside of the truck today. I don't want to do anything where having both brakes is absolutely material, just in case it somehow gives out. I'm pretty sure it just needs to get bled. There must be a slow leak or something, because this is the second time this has happened, and I definitely haven't crashed with a brake in or something to let air in at the master cylinder. So whatever's going on, something is slightly off somewhere. Stick sticking out. So if anybody watching knows, like, if I bring like a little saw, am I allowed to fix that? Right? This is like an official trail, whatever. Part of me wants to be like a good citizen and just like fix those things. But then I feel like it's probably going to turn out to be like against some rule or whatever. I don't know. You know what's up? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I did some quick searching. I think it's not allowed.
Please comment. I want to know. I've seen people bring saws, but like, I don't know where they're riding when I see that. Like, maybe it's just private property with permission. So yeah, this whole trail is just like a solid blue. Same thing with the next one, you know, medium technicality. Nothing crazy at any point that I remember from last time. And I don't expect this half of it to, or this one, to be different. Definitely skittish with these like rutted corners still. Especially on a, when it's a little bit exposed on a single track like this. Alright, and here is where, to the left here, you just got come back to the fire road pretty quick. And this right transitions to 6W25. And this part I have done before in the opposite direction. But yeah, it pretty much feels like the same trail with like an exit for the fire road. Pretty much. Okay?
Yeah, he just went down.
Okay, cool. No problem. Oh yeah, I remember this going the other direction. Was probably the biggest technical obstacle I think on this part. Just because of steepness. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, these like shortcuts, they are inviting. Because they tend to be the more technical path. This is probably why there are signs specifically. I'm not just the usual like stay on the trails. There's like a sign somewhere saying something like don't cross over the hills or something, which I guess is exactly what those shortcuts are. Yeah, I feel like the second half, or technically the separate trail, the 25 one, I feel like it's a little more technical. There's a little bit more hills, a little tighter turns sometimes, I think. I think we're nearing the end. Yes, we are. So that's that.
Yeah, and this is coming back onto that fire road, the main fire road, front trail or whatever. Okay, this is going to be an uphill.
Alright, this hill climb took me twice. I failed the first time last time. Let's see if I can make it the first time.
This is basically going up
It's very loose and there's some rocks and stuff to avoid. So we'll see.
Towards kind of Widowmaker, but from the backside of it.
Weighting the rear wheel as much as I can. There we go. First time at it.
Yeah, I've been getting a little bit better at weighting the rear wheel when standing up during hill climbs.
Let me try this right side thing. Okay. Whew, all right. I think my riding buddy is coming from the right here. We'll see. I'll go after you.
Yeah, so we're about to arrive at the top of Widowmaker soon. I'll insert a little bit of footage from a past week, a previous week, when I did do the attempt. I don't have any footage first person from that day because of technical reasons. Those technical reasons is basically I lost the camera. It flew off. But anyway, that might help orient where we are. And like I said, I'm not going down that, not gonna attempt it, not this time, maybe later.
Slow down to get some space before the hill.
Because of the front brake being squishy, as I mentioned earlier in the video, but also I'm a bit skittish. I don't know if I want to try it downhill before having tried it uphill first. I don't know, we'll see. Eventually I'll get it done.
Little rat. I think we're on top of the Widowmaker now. Is this top a Widow?
This is from a couple of weeks earlier. There's a steep section that I didn't quite reach here. That's you can see it coming into view now. That's sort of like the alley of trees.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. That if you can get past that little like alley, this is less steep, right? Kind of interested in going down that rut for practice. It actually might have been fine. It was tight in the beginning, but not. It didn't get any tighter. Good practice for braking and keeping constant speed in loose terrain.
Yes, I'm going to show some of those offshoots that I mentioned before that are sort of next to the main fire road. I'm not going to show all of them, but just show a sample of them, including the one that I think was the most difficult one. You can tell kind of what's there. In general, you can they all kind of join back. So you can be on that main fire road and you can take an offshoot and it'll just join back a little bit later, and there's like multiple of these. So it's really easy to be in a group, but you have maybe some more advanced, faster riders that can take the offshoots, and then you kind of join up and wait for the maybe less experienced, slower folks on the fire road. So you can, split the group up a little bit, which is nice, without getting lost or something like that. This is an example of an offshoot, like left would have been the fire road, and this is going up. So reasonably steep, but not like insanely steep. A lot of them are a bit loose and sandy, but as long as you're comfortable just being on the throttle and you've done some reasonable uphills, they're not too difficult. You do get some nice views, such as right here. You see the fire road on the left down there. And it's going to join up again after this peak here. More good views. Although I don't spend a lot of time looking at them when riding. I noticed in editing, more so than at the time. So of course with every uphill comes a downhill. But you can do these in either directions. I've done them in either direction now. For the most part, they're very, very similar in difficulty in each direction. I'm still pretty slow in downhills. I just go very conservatively, focusing on speed control, which is good practice, but at some point I'm gonna have to start getting comfortable going a little bit faster downhill, I think. think that place where we just passed has a decent amount of sand too. We were using that. We were riding with somebody and just using that as a little bit of a practice spot for riding in sand. Went back and forth a few times. It's not super deep or anything. It's just like a good solid forward, like not a turn, like straightforward, somewhat sandy section of the fire road. There are a few more sandy like corners and stuff here and there, but that was a solid, like longer straight section of sand that was pretty suitable for practicing technique. As you can tell, most of this is wide enough too, like you can turn around if needed, if it's too much. Even more good views. And here we go, he's trying it again. So I got some third person.
Nice!
That was kind of the steepest one of these. Really, that's as bad as difficult as it gets. That one isn't loose, it's just steep and a little rocky. Most of the other ones are just a little less steep and they're mostly loose as opposed to rocky. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Baldy Mesa. I'll definitely come back. But it's not a great place for absolute beginners because it's so sandy, but if you're reasonably comfortable, this fire road is pretty fine and you have that option of these offshoots, so I kind of like it, and I'll definitely be back and eventually work up to doing the Widowmaker sooner or later. So we'll see. Thanks for watching.